Hello, my dear. How are you today? I have missed you. Did you miss me? Okay, welcome to the class. One of the ways the English language is enriched is through the use of idioms. And you know what? Idiomatic expressions also improve our speech and writing skills. So today, we will learn some common idioms used and their meanings. If you're ready, let's begin. So, what is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase or an expression that has a different meaning from the literal meaning. Okay, let's learn some idioms that you hear. Okay, first of all, we have to let the cat out of the bag. To let the cat out of the bag. Okay, now this means to tell a secret, to reveal a secret. For example, I was trying to keep the party a secret, but someone went and let the cat out of the bag. Someone told the secret. Number two, to pitch in. To pitch in. This means to join in or to help. Okay? For example, if we all pitch in, the cleanup shouldn't take long. Okay. Now let's make progress. We have once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon is used to talk about something that happens rarely. That happens rarely. Okay. For example, once in a blue moon, she would call, but for months at a time, we heard nothing. Okay. Now we also have straight from the horse's mouth. When you say you heard straight from the horse's mouth, it means that you heard straight from the person involved or directly from the person involved. Okay. For example, I know it is true because I got it straight from the horse's mouth. Leah told me herself. So Leah is assumed to be the horse. Okay. So when you hear from the horse's mouth, you heard from the real person. Okay, we also have up a creek without a paddle. What does this mean? It simply means in a bad or unlucky situation. In a bad or unlucky situation. For example, if we don't get this project done today, we are going to be up a creek without a paddle. Okay? Now let's consider the next one. We have give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. This means to try something. To try something, okay? To give something a try. For example, try, let's give it a whirl. Okay? Then we also have this one, under the weather. Under the weather, which means feeling sick. For example, you could say, I was under the weather last week, but I'm feeling much better now. Okay, so these are all idioms. Go the extra mile. You hear people say, I went the extra mile. This simply means to make an extra effort. Okay, for example, they are really helpful. They always go the extra mile to help us. So it means one does much he or she can to help. Okay. Then we have to hit the hay. To hit the hay, which means to go to bed. For example, I have to get up early for school tomorrow, so I think I would better hit the hay. I'll better go to sleep. Okay. Then we have keep your chin up. Your chin. Keep your chin up. It means stay strong. For example, we have keep your chin up. We're not lost yet. Okay. Now let's consider a few more idioms that are related to the human body. But I want you to understand that we cannot understand the meaning of an idiom from the meaning of each word that makes it. So, understanding idioms is subject to deep thinking, and that's what we want you to understand. So, here we have to get cold feet. That's an idiom. And what does that mean? It means to suddenly become too frightened or nervous to do something important. Okay? Now, we have to do something important, but we become nervous. For example, Mark didn't ask Jane to marry him. He got cold feet. Now, Mark was supposed to ask Jane to marry him, but he became too frightened or too nervous. So, what do we say? We say Mark got cold feet. Okay? Now, we look at another one. To cost an arm and a leg. To cost an arm and a leg. What does this mean? It simply means to be very expensive, to be very costly. Okay? I would like to buy a Ferrari, but they cost an arm and a leg. So it's one easy way of saying that something is expensive. Don't forget it's an idiom. Let's make progress. To pull someone's leg. This one is a very common idiom. You hear it every now and then. To pull someone's leg. What does it mean? Now, it simply means to try to make someone behave, um, you know, to try to make someone believe something that is not true, but in a way of a joke anyway, okay? In a way of a joke. For example, Jane says to her friend, "We have won the lottery. We are rich." Then her friend Mark says, "Oh, wow, that's fantastic." But then Jane tells Mark, "Sorry, it's not true. I'm pulling your leg." Now look at the picture there. I'm pulling your leg. Did you see the expression in Jane's face? Jane is laughing. Why? Because Jane was only joking and Mark had taken her seriously. And so he got heartbroken, while Jane was having fun. So when someone say to pull someone's leg, it simply means to make someone believe something that is not true, but in a way of, in a way of a joke. That's you're joking, okay? Okay. Now let's look at this one. To have a sweet tooth. To have a sweet tooth. What does this mean? It means to like eating sweet foods. Okay? In other words, to like eating foods that are sweet. If you like eating sweet foods like chocolate, sweets, and so on, you could be said to have sweet tooth. Mark eats 3 cakes every day. He has a sweet tooth. Okay, so to have a sweet tooth is another way of expressing likeness for food that are sweet. Now there is this other idiom to give someone a hand. It is further expressed as to lend someone a hand. Now look at this idiom carefully. to give someone a hand or to lend someone a hand. Now, what does it mean? Now, this one means to help someone. For both expressions mean the same thing. Simply means to help someone. For example, my bags are very heavy. Can you lend me a hand, please? Okay. So when you look at lend me a hand, it simply means can you help me? Can you assist me? So also we have in the example the teacher gave Jane a hand with her homework. The teacher gave Jane a hand with her homework. So gave a hand, of course, means to assist, okay, to help. So when we say give me a helping hand or lend me a helping hand, we simply mean assist me or, you know, support me with something. So that's what it simply refers to. I hope we are getting this lesson. Remember, idioms cannot be explained by just looking at the individual words. You have to look at them as a whole. Now look at this idiom: to be an old hand at something. To be an old hand at something. What does this mean? It means to be very experienced at something. It means to have so much knowledge of something. Okay? Perhaps because you've been doing it over and over and again. For example, Mark says, my office window is broken. Who can fix it? And Jane replies him, saying, you should ask David. He's an old hand at repairs. Okay? So, he's an old hand. An old hand doesn't mean that David is old or his hands are old. No. It simply means that David is experienced at what he does, at repairs. So that's what it means. So to be an old hand at something simply means to be experienced at at something. Is that clear? All right, and finally, we want to look at this idiom: keep your hair on. Keep your hair on. Now, what does this mean? It simply means stay calm. Stay calm. Don't be angry with me. Okay? All right. So you just have to understand how this works. Mark says, I'm sorry. I have broken the vase. Then Jane tells him, obviously Jane was angry. Oh, you stupid idiot. Then Mark, who obviously was not happy about what he has done, says, keep your hair on. I'll replace it. Okay? So you can see this in the picture on the screen. Now, keep your hair on simply means stay calm. Don't be angry with me. Okay? Obviously, you have to be very careful of who you say this to. You should not say it to your elderly ones. It might sound a bit rude, or even to your teachers. That would be a little rude. But then it's one very um, important idiomatic expression we want to learn about. So when you say keep your hair on, it simply means stay calm, don't be angry. Okay? So the beautiful thing about idioms is that it enriches our vocabulary. So we want to keep learning about idioms. There are very many. We can't exhaust them in one single class. Okay? All right, it has been a nice time with you. I really love you. You can make progress to other activities. See you in the next class. Bye.